identifiable. Acting Deputy Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Ken Cuccinelli, sets the record straight.
Nothing secret about it, and for those who have questions why we use police, it's because it's the internationally recognized identification of law enforcement.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I am very pleased with your product. I haven't been sick since I've been taking this, and I contribute a lot of my energy and my health to your product, and I just want to keep taking it. So you guys just keep making it, okay? I just thank God for your company.
Balance of Nature is now offering 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code USA.
While you have free time and you're sitting at home and you ponder what kind of gifts to buy for someone, PatriotDepot.com has you covered from puzzles, games, novelty items. If you're looking for some unique style items when it comes to the president, for more you can check out PatriotDepot.com. Call 844-377-8052. That's 844-377-8052 or PatriotDepot.com. Use promo code USA.
President Trump has signed a bipartisan bill to preserve and protect America's national land and other historic landmarks. Here's USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes.
President Trump calls the Great American Outdoors Act a truly landmark piece of legislation.
The Great American Outdoors Act provides $900 million a year in guaranteed funding for the Land and Water Conservation Fund so that all Americans can continue to enjoy our parks.
At a Tuesday White House ceremony, the president said for more than 50 years, Congress has struggled to adequately fund land and water conservation. He said it's led to a backlog of maintenance and other critical needs in parks and public lands, which this new bill is going to address.
Missouri voters will decide the fate of Medicare expansion as one of 5 states holding elections today. Voters in Kansas, Arizona, Washington, and Michigan also heading to the polls. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Working from home? I'm Chad Dodd, veterinarian and consultant to Limp Bells. Here are some tips for keeping your dog fit while staying at home. Find 15 minutes twice a day and walk your pet at a decent pace around your place. Play hide and seek by hiding some kibble or favorite toys and letting your dog find them. If you have stairs and your dog is mobile, walk up and down twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Or better yet, try a power walk on your terrace or backyard for some fresh air. There are more helpful pet care tips at youmove.com, spelled youmove.com.
As the 2020 election steadily approaches, there have been growing calls from the media for Joe Biden not to debate President Trump. Op-eds appearing in the Washington Post and New York Times say it would not be good for Biden to debate Trump because, in their opinion, the president lies too much. Now, the Biden campaign has said they plan on debating President Trump and have agreed to the 3 debates as scheduled. The Trump campaign is proposing the debates be moved up and a 4th debate be possibly added because of the fact many folks are early voting. Regarding debating in general, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee tells Fox News the vice president should debate President Trump.
If they don't, Sandra, the American people are the ones who are being cheated. Of course, they need to have the debates. When you're president, you're going to have to stand on the stage with some people that, may be pretty tough with you, whether it's President Xi of China, whether it's Putin, whether it's Angela Merkel. You don't get the option of just saying, no, I don't want to show up.
Huckabee, a Fox News contributor, speaking there on Fox News. July is known for ushering in the hottest days of the year, but last month was especially tenacious. Blistering heat swept across the United States and shattered a slew of new records for the month. Phoenix, Arizona experienced the hottest month on record in July 2020 with 99 degrees Fahrenheit, the city's average temperature. Meteorologists saying the above-average highs will continue at least through next week. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome to What's the Story? My name is Janice Hermson. Why are we laughing? Why are we laughing?
Because it's Tuesday.
Oh, because it's Tuesday. That's right. We're not starting our week, right?
Right. Well,
New day.
No, the reason I'm laughing is we're here. The three of us made the change.
I know.
That's great. That's an accomplishment.
Yes, we made it on the right day. So
yeah, and the right time.
That's right.
Time difference,
if in fact you have ever listened before or never listened before, we used to air on Mondays, and
long ago,
last week, and we are now on Tuesdays, and we're going to be here from 4 to 6. And prior to our show is A Pinch of Basil, and I am honored to be his producer and co-host, and so I hope that maybe if you have a chance, you might tune into that as well and listen to, he's a funny guy.
Just block those Tuesdays off.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So hopefully this was kind of a scheduling thing, kind of make it a little bit more amenable to doing marketing and some other things. So hopefully everyone will enjoy listening to us on Tuesdays. And I see that GD joined us already. And so thank you for being here, GD.
See, you have to take your politician hat and put it on and say, the reason we made the change was for all of you out there.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. It's all for you.
I thought it was because we were nicer on Tuesdays.
He was giving me the evil eye when I was talking about myself. I saw that evil eye. Yeah.
Whoa.
He said, yeah, you should not be doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I did it anyway. I was honest.
Yeah.
And that's not a politician's trait, so sorry.
That's right. What
That's
are you
just me.
thinking? Yeah.
I don't know.
Boy, that politician
wasn't.
hat comes on and off, doesn't it?
Yeah, here and there. So anyhow, glad to be here on a Tuesday. We are doing a show about censorship because there's so much talk about that. And hopefully we can maybe tell you a little bit about some of the reasons why Twitter and all the rest of them can do that, and identify the possibilities of what the future might look like. So that's part of it. We do want your input. If you would like to, please give us a call at 844-790-8255. And if you are so inclined, maybe don't like to talk on the phone or on the air, 775-237-2266 is our text number. So you can do that. And another alternative, of course, is to go online to our What's the Story Facebook page, and you can join us there. So I've got Mr. Doug over there who's giving me that evil eye, Doug Ashby.
I was going to say there's a fourth option for everybody. They can do nothing and just pound on the radio.
Yeah, but it's much more fun to hear from people. We love for you to join in. And then to my right is Ed Knoll. Welcome.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
They may be censoring this program, right? If
Pretty
there's
soon.
more than a 5-minute delay, call us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, well, as soon as I use the hydrochloroquine word, I'm pretty sure we'll go off the air. So there you go. I just used it. What can I say? So
they ought to make a noise on our end to know when we're here or not, like a beeping or something.
That's right. So censorship comes in so many forms, books, movies. They're even censoring words and products. And I think sometimes what we call censorship isn't always truly censorship, because generally when you talk about censorship, you're talking about a government doing something like that, not so much a private entity. So in the sense of Twitter, for instance, and Facebook now, and although I heard in the hearing when Mark Zuckerberg was on, he was saying that they had not pulled that video of those doctors.
He said that.
He did, but they did pull that video. So I'm not quite sure if that was after he got off the stand there and talking to Congress, or if he just didn't know. I don't know. Maybe he's a politician. Who knows, right?
Oh, for sure they are now.
Yes. Well, they kind of have to be, I guess.
After they were in front of Congress.
Right. So really, they're not really censoring in the true sense of the word. Well, think about that. If it's supposed to be a government entity, they're a private company. They can do that legally, but is it wise? Is it wise? And so we're going to get into that in the next section, in the next segment.
Ooh, awesome.
So if you have comments, you want to talk about this, we want you to join in. Again, I'm going to give you our phone number, 844-790-8255. Have you ever been on social media and had something that you were doing censored or blocked, or have you been banned from Facebook? I've never been banned. Maybe now, right? Maybe today's the day.
Well, there's a time for everything, right?
That's right. You're awfully quiet today, Ed. Is it the new time, the new day?
Maybe.
Is it the topic?
Maybe it is. I'm not.
It's because April's not here, right? April didn't join us today,
Well,
so
April
that's
hasn't
why.
been in the studio for some time, but
I know.
I've always had healthy banter with her.
I know.
Unless
We
she's
miss her.
talking about unicorn babies or something.
I missed that one.
Just controversial subjects.
Any at all. So during this time, we are going to talk about what the publisher's responsibilities are. Doug's got some information on civilian oversight of police. So we're going to talk about that in this first hour. Then in the second hour, we'll do some current events. Little Michigan teen that got into some trouble. We're going to talk about that having to do with homework. Maybe you've seen that story. NASA and SpaceX made history this weekend. I don't know if you watched that. John and I did. It was an exciting thing if you're into the whole space thing.
It's kind of like splashing in the water with an SUV, right? Dropped from a crane.
I mean, it's not exciting in the sense of what you're watching because it's like, oh, yawn, right? They're just sitting there. But it's exciting that they're making history, and there's so much to that.
And they're making it look easy.
They are, and then we know it's not.
Yeah.
We know it is not. So,
There's an old adage about that. How would you like to go up in a spacecraft made by the lowest bidder?
oh, no, thank you. All right, on that note, you are listening to What's the Story? We're going to be right back.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LeRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LeRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LeRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LeRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
As humans, we ask ourselves all kinds of questions. But what if we were forced to ask ourselves a question every day that affected the outcome of the most basic things, the most important things in our lives? The question is, what is your sexual orientation or gender identity? And the answer is the difference between keeping your job or getting fired. The answer is the difference between staying in your home or getting evicted. The answer is the difference between receiving medical treatment or not. Because in 31 states, it's legal to discriminate against people based on their answer to this question. LGBT Americans have the right to say I do, but they don't have the same basic rights as everyone else. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General, at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. Let the fire feel the hope swelling up from the depths of my soul.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story, and I'm Janice Hermson. I'm here with Ed Knoll, Doug Ashby, and we are talking about censorship. So if you want to join in, remember you can call at 844-790-8255. Go on to What's the Story Facebook page. You can make comments there, and we would love to hear from you. Well, there is a question from Lenore. Does anyone at the station know about the fire in relation to Wainema Ranch and the wild horses? Did you hear anything about that? This little off the topic of censorship, but that's okay. We'll go there.
Yeah, just a quick update. So Wainema Ranch is sort of surrounded by the fires that are happening over there. Luckily, there is BLM firefighters out there, and they are housing some of those firefighters at the ranch to help fight that. Oh, perfect.
Well, that's a good way to take care of your ranch, right?
Yep, exactly.
Well, good. Glad to hear it. And Eddie Floyd is a part of the whole Wainema Ranch and the station here, so we wish them the best. So thanks, Lenore, for letting us know about that. I do not think I was aware of that.
I did not. I didn't either.
So shame on me. All right. But we're going to go back to our topic of censorship. And I want to reference, I was talking at the first part of this, and I was talking about the fact that Twitter had banned some doctors. And I don't know if you've seen that story. I'm pretty sure you're under a rock if you haven't. Yeah. But maybe not. You know, maybe you're sleeping. Who knows? Right.
Are you, where are you saying this is the most egregious, or are you saying, I mean, we see it on Twitter and Facebook and things, right? But where is it?
Where do I stand?
Where do you think it's most egregious? Where is it happening most?
As far as the censorship?
Yep.
I think that it's happening all across the board, on Google, on Twitter, on Facebook. I don't know
but like
that
current
there's
events, right? Like local
news.
Oh
yeah, current events.
That's where I see it, like a local news.
I didn't understand what you were asking.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that's all right. No, it's probably my thick head.
Oh my God.
All right. So it was America's Frontline Doctors that got banned from Twitter initially, and they had I don't even know if it was 100,000 plus, or it was a lot of views on their video. They went out and they were talking about hydroxychloroquine. I always say it wrong. Hydroxychloroquine, and they were saying it was a cure. And I'm pretty sure that was part of the reason they got banned. But they also referenced, now these are doctors, these are medical doctors, they're not quacks, although I guess you might think so if you don't believe in it.
They get a lot of education.
Yeah. They did. Yeah. And so they referenced it that way, and I presume that's why they got banned from the stratosphere there. But they also referenced that they said, do not, I watched all 45 minutes of that video. I had to hunt for it, but I found it. And they said, if you're listening to this, you need to go to the CDC website and look this up, because you should find the information there, blah, blah, blah. I did that. I couldn't find it. I could not find it. When I searched, I had to finally search for lupus, and then I did find some information about hydroxychloroquine. So I don't know if I didn't know how to search right, although I do pride myself on being a pretty good searcher. And so I'm not really sure what that was all about. But I will say that I felt that the fact that they banned them, in my eyes, why can't I watch that? They referenced to go to the CDC website, make my own mind up. So I don't care if they said it was a cure. I don't know that I believe it's a cure, even though I don't have an objection to it personally. but that's because I've done research on my own. That doesn't make me an authority or them. They're saying what happened to their patients. So I guess that's where I would challenge that and feel like, well, why can't we say what happened to America? That's where I am. What happened to America? And why can't we say what we think?
You know,
Comments?
it's interesting about what you're talking about here, because I have really mixed emotions on this subject, especially when it comes to Google and banning things, because they are a private enterprise. And my tactic has always been, for better or for worse, I think the government should keep their hands out of basically private enterprise. I don't want them regulating. But with that being said, I think they're taking the absolute wrong tactic, because if you say something that I don't agree with and you think it's false, shutting me down doesn't change that attitude. I think they should say, well, why do you feel that way?
But these places are just trying to make money and stay open, right? They're just pulling that off because then it removes them from judgment. Removes them from the public eye as being controversial.
Well,
so they're just counting money.
One of the things that I think is they have immunity from liability now. I don't think that should be. I think
and that was Section 230 that I was going to reference here and talk about, because I wanted to make sure that people understood the premise of what caused this to begin with, and why we're even talking about it. But it's so funny, because we wouldn't be talking about it had they not banned them. Right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't even be discussing it.
Well, and that's always the case when you bring attention to something, right? Or something you don't like, you bring added attention to it by making
But you know, unfortunately, I'm going to make a broad statement, but I think most of the people on the left, what they want to do is, if you don't agree with me, I'm going to penalize you for your opinion. I will pummel you into submission. And they do it in multiple ways.
I won't say that you're wrong about that, but I think it is a broad statement, and I think it's unfair to a lot of people that are of that mindset, because they probably don't do that or don't want to do that, and they might even agree with you on a lot of things. But because we get so broad and you're making that statement, then they're going to have to come back, because they have to say, well, yeah, but you're whatever they think you are. So I think that the way to open conversation is to not make those broad statements and to state the facts. And the facts are, like I said, these folks told what they believe to be true and referenced you to a government website to check things out for yourself, and not to listen to them, but to do what you thought was right for you.
Well, you say it's unfair, but the reality of it, it's true. What do? How do they try to shut you down? With political correctness, they will go after your employer. They will go after, your loved ones. They will try. I mean, they will try every way that they can.
I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say you're wrong. But again, how do you come to a point of having a conversation with those that aren't doing that have those feelings, but that aren't doing that?
Do you know how I think they can? I think that there ought to be a competing force to Google.
Well, that would be wonderful.
That's the capitalist way.
Can just
well, it's the capitalist way. If somebody invents one, right? If you create one by government, it's not that.
Well, you say that. What's keeping another company from starting?
I'm gonna get you off that topic, because I want to talk about Section 230, because I said that I would, because this is the publisher's responsibility, and this is the immunity that you're talking about. And Section 230 of the Telecommunications Act incentivizes digital services to restrict access restrict access to or availability of material that the provider or user considers to be obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, or otherwise objectionable. So that's where it comes in.
Come on.
What is otherwise objectionable? So this is where they're coming in. Plus, they are a private company. However, they are also immune from you suing them.
Yeah.
I'm not. As a publisher, I'm not. You can sue me.
Sure.
Right? So this is where I know that there are a lot of bills that are being proposed that are, trying to take this out. make them more responsible. If they're going to do this, then they should do that. I don't know that, we can solve any of that here, but I think it's important before the people start to object either way that they know why this is happening and why it is okay for them to do that.
Who does it with Google? Who appoints himself to sit on the throne and say, that out? I mean, is it a group of people? Is it one person?
That's what I think a lot of people are trying to find out.
Don't you look at Google the same as like the Reno Gazette-Journal? It's news from that source, right? It's TMZ. It's whatever, right? It's information from that source. When I use Google, I'm not saying it's Reuters, right? I'm saying Google, and so people need to take that into
take it, the context.
The difference between your local newspaper and Google is the fact that if you don't like what's in the Reno Gazette, you can buy another newspaper. You can buy a magazine. You can go anywhere. With Google, you can't.
It's hard to do that. Yeah,
you can. There
are alternatives. There are alternatives out there.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to learn about is the other alternatives. There's DuckDuckGo, although DuckDuckGo does use Google as their source. So there's the other problem. But it's like AT&T, right? When it was Ma Bell, everybody was using Ma Bell's equipment to do when they started breaking things up.
Haven't they broken up AT&T 5 times?
Exactly. So it's not probably going to benefit. It's just disrupt, right? And if you want disruption, I guess that's good. I guess you'll get that. I also want to talk about some new words that are coming out there that we're not supposed to use in reference to something.
Censoring?
Yeah, a little bit of that going on. So,
are there 7 words that you can't say?
Oh, I don't know. We can talk about that when we come back.
7 bad words? Well, I can say 1 7 times.
There you go.
I know we have a little sign here.
Yes, well, that's a little different about being on the air is a little different than out in public, right? All right, that music tells us it's time to take another break, but we are going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about censorship. Be sure to join in. I know Steve is talking about political correctness. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Businesses, writers, check this out. Go to lrpnv.com to get your printing, publishing, and professional services today. Need a virtual office? A place to receive and forward your mail with professional address and suite number for your business? Someone to answer your telephones? Want to rent a conference room for only $15 an hour? What about that book you've been wanting to have printed? LRP Printing and Business Center can do it for you, and they have a professional assistant on site daily, Monday through Friday. Just call 775-356-1004. Need copies, business cards, invoices, books, booklets, or graphic design to help brand you or your business? Just call 775-356-1004 or go to lrpnv.com. With a great selection of new and used books, you can get your printing done and a book to entertain you in your time off. And don't forget, you could have your business sponsoring the Book Hound radio show, just like Andrew Martoni, author of Little Man on the Map, does every week. Just go to lrpnv.com. That's lrpnv.com or call 775-356-1004. They'll provide solutions for your business and writing projects.
Matthew.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson, and we have been discussing some censorship topics and the doctors that were, I guess you would call it censored. They were taken off the Twitter and YouTube and everything else. They are still available out there. Apparently their website, their hosting folks took them off there as well.
So best
that
I know,
really don't understand.
They're making bazillion dollars.
Now they are, I'm sure,
Yep,
yeah.
These guys have never been so popular now.
Right,
They've been
right.
removed.
Yeah, and they are now on
Serious?
America's FrontlineDoctorSummit.com. They have a white paper on hydroxychloroquine. They have, a lot of different things. And I do want to make one other comment about the drug itself. I do know somebody who once used it, and due to an illness that she had that was not COVID. And she did end up having some heart problems. So, they're definitely, and it does say in this white paper, I read the white paper, and it does say that that is a possibility. Tends to be rare, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So I think that my take on this is that if you are working with your doctor, you know your own health, she knows your health, I just think that should be a discussion between you. And this is a drug that's been out there. Well, it's been out there for 65 years. I mean, it's not like it just, and you don't see droves and droves of people dying from it that are taking it. So there's got to be something that's different about what they're doing when they have the COVID instead of the other. So, and I'm not going to get into all the details. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have any of that criteria behind me, but I will tell you that if it were me, I would probably want to take it. So that's just my own personal opinion.
Well, one of the
for what it's worth.
One of the talking heads this morning coming in to the station was talking about this very thing, and they said, if you were on your deathbed, doctor, would you take this drug? And he said, you betcha.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
And at my age, and I don't have a lot of risk factors, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm old. I would want to take it.
Yep.
I'm willing to say that. That's just, just the way it is. So anyhow, but let's talk a little bit. We've talked a little bit about the fact that the social media, that people are getting banned, and you can go on Twitter and you can see all over the place. Just type in banned Twitter or banned on Twitter, and you'll probably find a bunch of people that are talking about that.
Can I broaden this just a little bit?
Sure.
The school districts are trying to ban Mark Twain's books.
Yeah, well.
Now that's personal choice there. I think that belongs at home with a mom or a dad.
That is not unusual, though, and I'm sure you're aware of that. The fact that that books are banned all the time, and there are actually organizations that follow up on that, and I think we should probably contact them. National Coalition Against Censorship. They will follow up on that. If you want to report it, they'll follow up and find out, why and whether or not there's something that they can do about that. So
it's just stupid policy.
It is.
It
really
is.
It's,
and it's amazing that in this day and age that there is still censorship of that type, and especially a book like that.
Well, Mark Twain's books are classics.
But do you not know that when you ban something, you increase its visibility and actually
every author just would love to have their book banned.
Right. I mean,
please ban my book.
And so people, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so I did post that website, that ncac.org, that you can report. If there's some censorship going on, you want to report it, that's a good place to start. It's not something that we can all tackle on our own. It's hard to, we got enough going on in our own little worlds right now.
But don't you think as a reader, right, whether it be books, ads, news reports, everything comes, you got to know the source on everything.
Right.
Because everything's biased, right? Everything has an inherent bias because it's trying to sell something, teach you something.
Well, and one of the problems with articles that you read is that they often reference another biased article.
Right.
I found that a lot because I always check to see what's the source, and not always, but I mean, when I'm really curious about, is this really true? I go back and check their sources, and then you see that the source is just another one of their newspapers or their affiliates or what, and it's like,
that's called
well,
the circular argument.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So you really want to go to the source when you're referencing. If you're a writer, come on, do your job. That's
so much of this that what's offensive to me is they say, Ed, what you said really offends me. I don't want you to say that anymore. Well, I'm sorry. When is somebody on the other side of that argument to say, I'm sorry I offended you. I will think about that. But no, I'm not going to change my ways because you're offended. Quit being offended. Grow up.
You're rolling back the clock 50 years, right?
Right.
Right. Those things were worked out in schoolyards, and those things were worked out among kids in high schools. And was it rough and edgy and not disciplined and stuff? And were there bad results? Yes, but most of the time, folks got lessons.
Yeah. One of the things that I wrote down here as a note, real quick, is that the left has found a way around the First Amendment because they will shut you down whatever way they can. Yes, you have the right to say it.
Here's what I'm going to say. I think that we, other than if you're not a left and you're not doing that, I think that we have to find ways to counter it. It's free speech. So we have to find a way to not complain about it and say, oh, they're shutting me down.
But, that's the matter with the Republican politicians. They're spineless. Why are they? It's because, they're liable to attack me, and I don't want that.
Well, it means we have to also elect some different Republican politicians
that have a backbone.
Direction, our song, right? And they need to get their backbone back. We'll send them that
Etch-a-sketch.
That tape. Right?
So, that we should just etch-a-sketch all of them and re-elect.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah.
All right. So the word that recently we are being told we shouldn't use in the wrong fashion is the word loot. So looters is now, according to someone from the Los Angeles Times, considered to be a racist word because of the way that it's being used. So the root of loot, like that, goods taken from an enemy, and it's from 1839, an Anglo-Indian from Hindu, from the Sanskrit, and there's all sorts of words here. Booty, stolen property. So come on, really? Loot.
Well, do you know?
So you can't call them looters.
Well, what it is it doesn't fit their scenario, because when you're on, I'm not going to go down that road.
No, don't go down that road.
Yeah.
All right.
So what if you're a musician playing a lute? Can you be ethnic, or do you have to only be white when you're playing a lute?
I think that's spelled a different way.
It's called the same. Just broadening the discussion.
That's right. That's the most recent thing that I've heard anyway. I don't know, maybe you've heard something else, but I heard that we're not supposed to call people looters. So Steve says most of the fact check sites offer opinion as facts to say why someone else's facts are wrong. Yes, I agree. That's exactly what I was
So instead of loot, sorry, Steve, instead of loot, what are we supposed to use?
Say stealing somebody else's property.
No, there were some good,
rape
really
and pillage.
ironic.
Rape and pillage.
Stealing. Borrowing unjustly.
Yes, it was that kind of thing. Yeah, I wish I would have written down some of the comments that were being made that were just so comical. Because let's face it, we need to just get down to earth. We're in the middle of a pandemic here. We have many more things to do than to worry about what word you're using and how you're using it. One that's been around since 1839 and has meant the same thing for that long.
Yeah.
I know our language migrates or whatever it is that I've been told, but this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. If you're looting, you're looting. I don't care what color you are.
When you're taking someone else's property that doesn't belong to you.
I have real problems with folks being committing crimes and then being like not vilified, but like victimized,
right.
Like they've lifted up to hero status.
Yes,
friends of ours.
Right. Yeah. So Steve wants to know, what if you're looting a loot? See, same word.
I don't know. What color are you? What color are you?
On that note, my goodness, maybe I need to change the subject.
But it's just ridiculous. I don't understand the term changes and calling things what they are.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's really if I'm gonna call for anything, I'm gonna call for some common sense. Just say, look, let's just all have a little bit of common sense about this, and we can all
tolerance. There is no tolerance on either side. I don't have any.
What is that meant to do? What is that saying? You can't use that word is meant to shut you up.
Right. But it is, and that's why I'm saying what we have to do when that happens is we have to counter it, like I am right now, and say, hold on, that is silly. That is somebody just trying to stir it up. They're stirring the pot. That's all they're doing. There is no need to stir the pot. We can have better conversations if we quit identifying everything and just have normal conversations between people and say, hey, you offended me.
Yeah.
Why did I offend you? Like you guys were talking about earlier, you know?
Yeah.
I was offended. Well, I'm sorry you're offended. I'm not going to not do that anymore, but I take note of that, right?
There's an old fire department expression that covers this. It's called shut up.
Uh-oh. Well, that would be Doug. All right. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Kelly Rush, CEO of America Matters Media, here to tell you about Reno Tahoe Mattress and Furniture. They have mattresses and furniture for 50 to 80% less than the big retailers. They sell all new name brand mattresses and furniture from name brand vendors and carry everything from lower end up to luxury brands. Because Reno Tahoe Mattress and Furniture is a clearance warehouse, not a direct retailer, stock is limited and they never know when the next truck will come in. They're open to the public Saturdays from noon to 4 p.m., but availability is first come, first serve. Reno Tahoe Mattress and Furniture is located at 1050 Linda Way, Suite 13 in Sparks, or call Liz for an appointment at 775-790-7521. Get 90-day no-interest, no-credit check financing with just $50 down. Mention this ad for an additional 5% off. Again, Reno Tahoe Mattress and Furniture, 775-790-7521.
I know I need to pay attention to my health, but I just can't seem to find the time. Between rushing to work and taking care of the kids, there's not much time left over for me. So I decided to start small by eating more fruits and vegetables and being more active. And then I got the family to make some changes too. We started by keeping a bowl of fresh fruit on the counter, and I limit the amount of sweet snacks I keep in the house. I've also found some creative ways to add more vegetables to our meals. We're taking more walks, and on the weekends, we head down to the pool at the rec center. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. You don't have to change your entire life to be healthier. Just make some simple changes and include your family. You'll see how easy and fun it can be.
You can make a difference. Eat smart, play hard. And when you do, your kids will too. A challenge from USDA.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Now she's gone like a little.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story, and I'm Janice Hermson, your host, and we are here every Tuesday now. So hopefully you will
4 to
6, and hopefully you'll join us every week. We try to cover a variety of topics, and sometimes we just sit around and laugh, and other times we get serious, like
so
today.
A little later in the day, we can have a little bit of trouble waking Ed up at 3. Can you imagine what it's going to be like at 4?
It is $10 online Pizza Tuesday.
Oh, look out.
So get your pizza and
I
tune
want
in.
everyone to know we're going to have to, after this segment, we do go to a kind of a long break. We have our news and all of that, and then we come back for our second hour. But I want to tell you, if you have to cut away, you need to come back before the end of the show. We end at 6. So before the end of the show, tune back in. I got a great story about some Russians. So I just want to tell you. I was busy doing my genealogy this weekend, but then the story came up and it was just so funny. I just had to share it. So there you go.
Wow.
But we're not going to share anything funny right now. This is actually about civilian oversight of police. And I asked because Doug had to work closely with police in his role as a chief in LA. He really does understand that relationship and has seen, I'm sure, the good and the bad of it all.
Yes.
And good officers, bad officers, good situations, bad situations. But the story that I came upon was a story from 2017 where the Oakland,
City of Oakland
in California, there's lots of Oaklands. I forget there's an Oakland in Michigan that I know about too. Anyway, in California, decided to have civilian oversight. So I'm going to let you take it from there because you read the article, and I would like your perspective on that.
Well, I did. And unfortunately, one of the things that I started with is that why does a city have a police department? I mean, your city is chartered one of two ways. It can either be a charter city or it can be a general law city. Well, the more you read, the more you realize that there's really not too much of a difference between cities. And nobody has oversights over the police department. They're almost an entity to their own, and they have been in history. So the bad thing about police departments is the fact that they have ultimate authority over whoever they deal with. They have the ability to take your life. They have the ability to talk down to you. They have the ability to just, and unfortunately, most of those things include force. And in my first edition of my book, one of the things that I wrote about was all you need to do is look at their uniform. What do they have? They have a hat with a badge on it. Well, why do they have a hat with a badge on it? That's because it stares you right in the face when you approach them. They have a badge on their chest. They have a gun on their hip. Look at the other side. They have a taser. They have a baton. They have mace. They have handcuffs.
Batman didn't have that.
Yeah, I bet. It's amazing. You wouldn't think that they could walk, let alone run, And for years, literally years, they used it with will. I mean, one of the things that I always thought was interesting, and they used the New York Police Department as an example, is one of the things that the police departments always did is they had an oral board. How do you hire policemen? Well, who was on the oral board? Usually white Irishmen, because they were big, they were strong, and they knew how to thump people. Well, when somebody came in for an interview, who do you think got the nod? People that looked like them. So nothing was changed. So that really, we can say in 2017 that Oakland, this was a new idea that we're going to have civilian oversight. It wasn't a new idea. It was just coming to fruition. It was time. But unfortunately,
how has it fared for them?
Not well. Because how it started out originally is that they had an oversight. Well, that's great. What do you do? Well, you give us your complaint and we'll review it. They didn't have any teeth. So it started morphing into different things. Well, if you fast forward to today, I had it in my notes here. I think there's 20 different cities that have 20 different types of commissions that regulate the police department. Well, what do we see on the news? Unfortunately, it's not good, because they say, well, what are we going to do? We need to limit their budget. Well, what happens when you limit their budget? That morphs into, let's take the police department away. Oh my gosh.
Which is what they're talking about doing now. What
kind of sane thinking could come up with that you don't need a police department? Because what's the glue that holds a city together? What's the glue that holds a community together? It's somebody with ultimate authority to say, you have a law and I'm here to enforce it.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I thought it was the homeless. Holding cities together.
Yeah, boy, isn't that the truth? And the other thing about this is that why can't I don't know, how do I phrase this? You can't call reality reality. And we talked a little bit about this in the break. From the last segment that we had, the word loot. Well, that's morphed into, that's a racist statement. Oh my gosh. Well, your police department, that's the ultimate insult that most people that don't like the police departments will throw at you. I think there's a bunch of officers out there, also people on commissions, city commissions. They aren't racist. They want to do what's right.
Right.
Unfortunately, they get painted with a roller.
If Oakland, California has done this, then why wouldn't the entities right now that are out there burning and looting?
Yeah, shouldn't they be dancing, doing the happy dance? Right. Look what we did. We're ahead of our time.
Right. And why wouldn't they reference that to see, was it successful? What were the goods and the bads of it? What do we want to adopt that might work? I mean, that makes more sense.
I can answer this. Oh, silly person. Are you kidding me? Let's look in Oregon and in Washington and Seattle, because you have some numbskulls, some C- students running.
Name calling. No name calling.
Okay,
Come
all right.
on.
The politicians there are C- students. Is that polite?
There you go. That's better.
And they say that, well, what do you mean? They weren't rioters. They were just people that needed something. And they just happened to have a torch in their back pocket. They aren't calling it what it is. When you take somebody else's property through violence or through the threat that you're going to burn their business down, you need a police department to stop it.
Well, one would think, and I guess what I'm saying is that if this city has done something and if it's been successful, then those folks that are looking to, quote, defund the police may want to take a look at this. And copy it. And if it was successful, they have an app. I mean, they've got a lot of things here.
Not to mention.
Well, but, Janice, I hate to say this because the news media and the left have an agenda. Their agenda is not solving these problems.
I realize that, but we're here and we're media
But if you're
as well.
California, if you're a California transplant going somewhere, best I know, you're scratching Oregon and Seattle off your list. Looks to me like we're winning, right? I mean, that stuff takes care of itself.
Right.
Yeah, I have
There's a way about that.
I have a nice vacation package for you.
Well, right. I mean, best I know, that puts us higher on the list, right? 721-4100, need a loan, right?
Oh, that's why you're so happy, huh? Well, I guess I'm just trying to share, because there is nothing but people out there saying this won't work, that won't work. Well, and I don't know if this works or not. But what I'm saying is that we need to share things that might work, that if that has to happen, if this is where we're going, if this is the direction everybody wants to go, then let's look at some things that have actually had experience for 3 years and find out what they did right and what they did wrong.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with offering that as an opportunity,
One
right?
of the things that this has evolved into with other cities is they say, if you're going to do this, you have to have bite to what you do. You have to have the power to make decisions over the police department. That sounds good. That really does. I like that attitude. But unfortunately, it has a bad side. And the bad side is that you take away the responsibility from the police chief. And if anything happens in the community, then the police chief says, well, it wasn't me, it was you as a commission.
But
Everybody
there's
is
no
passing
personal responsibility or accountability in government and in that space. There
it's
needs
a slippery
to be.
slope is what it is.
Who wants, I mean, to me, right, if I'm a young person, that's not on my career list, right? I mean, I think it's a very difficult job. I think those folks are put in a really unrealistic, right? I mean, they're getting pummeled, maybe like I as a banker got pummeled 10 years ago, right? It was our turn, maybe it's their turn.
Yeah.
But, right,
let's look at the basics. We have the Nevada Highway Patrol here, and say you get pulled over for speeding. You know you were speeding. He knew you were speeding. You got a ticket. Are you happy about it? And who are you going to take it out on? Are you going to take it out on yourself, or are you going to take it out on that policeman that just cost your family $450?
Well, because nobody has any poise in the moment, they snap back and bite that dog that bit them. But if they had a little poise, they'd take it out on their car about a mile down the road, right? But no one does. So, right?
Yeah. No matter how polite that guy is, when he stands at your window, you're never going to see it his way.
You're not. Well, thanks for sharing that information. I did share some links so that if you want to look at what Oakland's been doing, you can do that. If you're somebody that thinks we should defund, maybe check that out and see what they're doing. Maybe they can give you some advice. And we are going to take our long break. We hope that you will come back with us after the 5 o'clock hour. And we'll be here for another one.
And at the end of the next segment, or next section, you're going to tell what at the end?
Russia, baby. Russia story. It's fun.
Well, best I know, we're going in.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, you want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural. You must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
This is America Matters Media Radio, heard worldwide on the web at americamatters.us and on KCKQ 1180 AM, Reno.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
The Trump administration is offering $35 million in grants to 73 organizations across 34 states to house victims of human trafficking.
And I promised that the Justice Department would do everything in our power to stop human trafficking and to help survivors. And today I'm pleased to announce an important step in keeping that promise.
Attorney General Bill Barr also saying the Justice Department will continue to work with law enforcement to stop human trafficking. The White House is keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Isaias. During a briefing, President Trump telling those in the storm's path to stay on alert and follow the guidance of local officials. Hundreds of thousands of people are without power from the storm. The president saying he's been in touch with governors of states that have been affected by the storm. And you're listening to USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root. I want all of you to get real. Get real. Get real water, that is. I live and die with my real water. It's the only stable negative ion alkaline water in America. I drink it everywhere I go, and it tastes great too. Real water has upped their game again. Now with the Real Water Concentrate, you can get real water anytime, anywhere on the go. Just a few squirts of the Real Water Concentrate, and you can transform any good purified water into real water. Basically, the concentrate adds trillions of extra electrons, turning your water into an alkaline, electron abundant powerhouse. And here's an additional benefit. You can put Real Water Concentrate in your coffee, tea, or juice. Heck, it even improves cheap wine. I challenge you to give it the taste test. You'll be amazed. Here's the deal. Since you're one of my listeners, you get a free bottle of the Real Water Concentrate. Free. 100% free. All you have to do is pay the small shipping and handling fee. Call 702-381-1217. Tell them War sent you and get your free bottle. 702-381-1217. Go to teamgetreal.com.
On Tuesday, a Republican-led Senate subcommittee is convening a hearing to examine protecting free speech and protests, but also preventing violent demonstrations. Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz is chairing that committee.
The ranking member said nobody is condoning the violence and rioting, and yet nowhere in the opening remarks was even one word condemning it, condemning the assaults, condemning the 277 injuries that federal law enforcement officers have suffered at the hands of those rioters. Not a word.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, says Democratic Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader from New York Chuck Schumer are delaying getting money to the American people during the pandemic.
We've gotten a full week of the Speaker of the House and the Democratic leader shutting out all of their own members and refusing to move an inch off of demands that everyone knows are outlandish.
USA Radio News.
Working from home? I'm Chad Dodd, veterinarian and consultant to Limp Bells. Here are some tips for keeping your dog fit while staying at home. Find 15 minutes twice a day and walk your pet at a decent pace around your place. Play hide and seek by hiding some kibble or favorite toys and letting your dog find them. If you have stairs and your dog is mobile, walk up and down twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Or better yet, try a power walk on your terrace or backyard for some fresh air. There are more helpful pet care tips at youmove.com, spelled youmove.com.
At a White House ceremony on Tuesday, President Trump is signing the Great American Outdoors Act, which he calls a truly landmark piece of legislation aimed at preserving the country's majestic national wonders, priceless historic treasures, and national parks.
The Great American Outdoors Act provides $900 million a year in guaranteed funding for the Land and Water Conservation Fund so that all Americans can continue to enjoy our parks.
The annual New York City Holiday Spectacular will be a lot less spectacular this year. As we hear from USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you.
Officials have announced that the 2020 Radio City Christmas Spectacular featuring the Radio City Rockettes is canceled due to the uncertainty surrounding COVID-19. It's the first time since 1933 that the show, that was slated to run from the 6th of November through January 3rd, has been canceled. In addition, MSG Entertainment, which owns Radio City Music Hall and Madison Square Garden, plans to lay off 350 people, or a third of its corporate workforce. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
More news can, of course, be found online at usaradio.com or on Facebook as well. Check us out at USA Radio. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters Media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Now she's gone like a little in a song, all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs. Poof, now she's gone like a little in a song, all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story, and hopefully you hung in there with us through our news break. Second hour here.
5 to 6, new
5
hour.
5 to 6,
Yeah.
new hour.
This is great.
Ooh.
You guys going to be able to keep your eyes open here?
Oh, I
and
think so.
Stay awake? You got your coffee?
Well, yeah, we got our What's the Story coffee, and we're having it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad. I missed having the mall be busier than it is. It was for so long, so hopefully that will change soon. It is open, though, so if you're in the Reno area, the Reno Town Mall is open.
It looks to me like it's pretty difficult to socially distance here. Right?
Oh, come on.
So, if you walked in right now, you'd be the only person here, right?
That's right. That's very true. But, lots of people work here. And
the stores are open. It's a great place. I know I'm laughing, but I love the studio here.
I know.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to be able to, especially where I sit. I can look right out and
I know.
Watch people
Well,
walk
we're
by.
hoping that's all going to change soon, right?
Watch the pretty girls go by.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wait a minute. We have to say this. We have to tell April we miss her.
All right. Go ahead.
No, I was waiting for Ed to pipe up and say that.
What? So this is like forced, right? so this is kind of forced coercion,
It's the
right?
opposite of censorship.
It
right?
is forced bias.
April, we miss you. How's that?
We do.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's right. You know what? You have 2/3. That's more than the majority.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully she'll be able to be back with us next week. In the meantime, I wanted to do a little bit of current events. We've got a Michigan teen. This is from Fox 2 that was incarcerated for not doing online schoolwork during COVID-19 pandemic. How about that? Now that's a good one, don't you think?
I think that they'd take. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I was about to say they'd take the whole Damani Ranch High School population for doing that.
Yeah, we don't have a jail big enough, right?
I just thought it was very interesting, and I did read the whole article. I'm not going to read it to you here on the air, but I will post it so you can read it for yourself. But it's a 15-year-old girl from Metro Detroit. And she was sent to juvenile detention at the end of the school year for not completing her online school assignments. Now, I get detentions and all that. You know, we all probably, I know I had detention when I was in school. I didn't do something. I ended up in study hall for something. I mean, it happens, right? But this seems pretty severe. So I think that there was some misunderstanding from what I read. And there was also a caseworker that maybe had it in for a little bit, from what I could tell. So just some definite misunderstanding going on. But what a sad headline, right? That she's incarcerated for not doing her online homework.
Well,
just a shame.
I read an article, and what I took away from the article is that she got in a dispute between her and her mother, and it got violent. And
I didn't read that.
Yeah,
that wasn't in this article.
So that's the reason
There's
that
a history.
she was.
So the headline is wrong.
Right.
Well,
there you go. That's what it is.
It's jaundice because
Yes.
she was sent to juvenile hall because her and her mother had this.
Nowhere was that mentioned in the article I just
She
posted.
was
Nowhere.
let out of juvenile hall.
See, good investigation.
Yeah, with the stipulation, or what do they call that? Not stipulation, but anyway, that she did keep up on her homework. So when it went back in front of the judge says, "Wait a minute, part of your plea agreement."
It's the thing she didn't do.
Yeah, so that
all
was
right. Then that's not so.
I've seen
there's more to the story.
I'm glad you were able
Yeah.
to find that because I
was-
did
yeah,
look
yeah,
and I didn't
yeah.
see anything else. So,
Yeah,
all
well,
right.
that
So
was-
there's your
yeah.
story.
So
There's
now
your
is
story.
that headline? What do we call that headline?
False.
Oh, it's very misleading.
Well, for
Very
sure misleading, bogus.
Fake news.
What is it?
Fake news.
Read the headline again. What does it say?
It says, did I already erase it? No, I didn't.
You
Here
should
it is.
read the next
Michigan teen incarcerated for not doing online schoolwork during COVID-19 pandemic, report says.
Yeah,
So that is not why
it's
she was
jaundice.
incarcerated.
Yeah, it's not all the.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not all the
Yes.
truth.
Right.
She was sent back to juvenile.
All
So
right,
if
so
I could
before
write
we-
that good, I'd write books.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I also want to mention right here on our home front in Carson City, the Carson City schools have issued more on reopening plans, and parents only have until tomorrow to fill out an intent form. So I am actually going to post this webpage in case there are any Carson City parents out there that have not done this. You need to fill out this intent form. They are going to be doing some hybrid. They're doing... I'm glad I'm not a parent right now from the standpoint of having kids that age because...
Washoe County called and gave us 4 choices on the phone.
Oh, is that how you did it?
Yep, it
Oh,
was on
my
the
goodness.
phone. But
Well,
best I know, Carson City parents voted prior to the Gov ruling.
They did.
And they voted to go back regular.
Right.
And then the Gov wouldn't let them, so
Right.
they had hybrid. And now he's like, I don't care what you do. Right?
Well,
so he's
there
letting
is
them come up with their own.
Yeah, the Nevada appeal, I've posted that article for you. So if you are in the area and want to see what's going on, you can go over there and take a look. Boy, it's confusing, though.
Well,
it's really confusing.
It hit the nail right on the head where the governor knows better than the parents. So what can you say?
I don't know if that's true or not, right?
Well, I wouldn't think so.
And then let's not forget about NASA and SpaceX. So did you guys watch that? Did you watch them come down and splash?
I didn't.
You
No,
didn't.
I
I did.
didn't
John
either.
and I did. Yeah.
I
Welcome
saw-
back to planet Earth. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, it's way
It was exciting.
cool.
Yeah, it was very exciting. So I'm also going to post that article for you in case you missed it. We're just here to keep you updated.
Doesn't that make
and-
Star Trek all the more real?
It does.
It wasn't real?
No, I mean that just the simplicity with stuff. Remember, we had the big boxes for the
Right.
computers on Star Trek and stuff. And the SpaceX stuff, right? It's all neat. It's clean. It's like a car,
Yeah.
right? And it's all clean like that, like the next generation.
Right.
Do you remember when we were growing up?
We're going to remember in a minute because we have to take a break right now. We will be right back. You are listening to What's the Story. Please stay tuned and come back with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Patterson. I'm the founder and owner of Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists. At Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists, we take a comprehensive approach to treating patients with chronic pain in the greater Reno, Tahoe area. We believe in the biopsychosocial model. This means we use multiple disciplines such as massage therapy, physical therapy, behavioral health, and medical treatments to treat your chronic pain. A plan of care is tailor-made for each individual patient. We always recommend conservative care first, but offer minimally invasive treatments when necessary. We are your one-stop shop. If it hurts, we can help. We pride ourselves in providing passionate care and making you feel welcome and understood. We are located in Reno and in Sparks, so give us a call to schedule a new patient consult at 284-8650. Again, that's 284-8650. Or visit our website at nvadvancedpain.com. We hope you choose Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists to be your center for injury rehabilitation. nvadvancedpain.com, 284-8650.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. That's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story?
It is nice when they come back like that.
Yeah, it is. So we are here today. We've been talking about censorship. We have talked about the police and the whole defunding proposition. And it's been a little bit of a serious show. We don't always do quite so serious, but it was our inaugural Tuesday show, and we were happy to be here. I actually had a little butterflies before the show. I haven't had butterflies in lots of years. So, but I was nervous. I was like, oh, wow, new day.
Positive energy.
Yeah, it was fun. It was kind of fun to be excited about it.
I haven't had butterflies since I drank that lake water.
Memory of April. That was all for you, April.
Right.
We know you're listening. So Doug just had to put in the jab.
Best I know, that was the last argument I won.
Oh, I'm sure she'll come back at you for that. Just wait till she comes back. If you haven't listened to any of our other shows, there's a little sparring going on between April Kempler and Ed Knoll about Virginia Lake. So that's what that's all about. So
drink that water.
But this last couple of weeks, I attended an online seminar with Dr. Christopher Thornburg.
Was that a Zoom seminar?
It was actually, it was not a Zoom exactly for everybody. I guess it was a Zoom. I don't know.
But right?
Yeah, some kind of Zoom thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't think it was Zoom, though. That's what I'm saying.
I was just trying to be PC, right?
Oh,
so,
I gotcha.
right, we come in
we
and
didn't
out of
actually
PC
go
term.
there, right? Yes.
Yes,
So,
okay.
anyway, but I shared it with Ed because being in the banking business, it was something that I felt he would benefit from. And also because I wanted to share with everyone that he provided us, Christopher Thornburg provided some very good news for Nevada, I think, and just summing it up kind of. But
yeah.
Ed wanted to kind of share some of the details with us and have a little conversation.
So why everyone's all down on so much stuff, and the news is like morbid.
Yes.
The world is ending. I mean, serious,
It's
right?
true.
It just sickens me.
It is.
It
yeah.
aggravates me to no end. And here we have an economist announced Christopher Thornburg speaking at the Las Vegas Chamber and in a consortium of local banks.
Right.
Telling us that, what do you think? V recovery, U recovery.
Yeah, which is it to be?
Right, and he compared a lot of current things to the Great Recession that wiped myself out.
Not only you, my dear
right?
sir.
And at best I know, we didn't have, there was no unemployment for self-employed.
No.
Right? There was no extra $600. There was no stimulus money. They didn't do squat.
Right.
Right? And so hopefully they've learned, but now they've gone over the top.
Right.
But this,
and that was kind of what he was commenting, is that the money hasn't all been injected into the economy yet. People have not. They're holding on because they have nowhere to go.
So
they're putting it into their savings.
We talk about science, right? And financial services has science, and we don't often look about it. And nobody hears it. Right. You don't hear it anywhere. But this gentleman basically said, hey, the underlying economy is awesome. It was awesome before we stopped it, right? There was no failing of any part of it. There's no bubble in any part of it. He went on, right? I don't have 45 minutes, but he went on into each category of business and said, banking, retail, all of them. And hey, once he basically said, once folks quit being hysterical, right, we can fix this. When they quit being afraid and go back to work, it's over.
Right.
What is the undertow? Who's keeps preaching that the sky is falling?
Everyone,
everyone
but us, best I know.
The media primarily, and I stole his headline basically, which is "Hysteria is the new normal."
Yeah, because
why are they doing that? Because they hate Trump. No, really. I mean, they don't want him to serve a second term.
Well, it's an election year. Yeah.
Exactly. So for sure it's an election year.
For sure, that's got something to do with it.
But this guy, I mean, as an economist and looking at the state, was just talking about how strong Arizona is, Colorado, Utah as well, how the West is really positioned well. We got tight labor markets, right? We got businesses coming from California still, right? How strong the underpinnings of our economy really were. And that basically, man, once we open up, right, that we can get right back there quicker than we think.
And as I was listening to it, I remember feeling heartened by the fact that
it was awesome.
Oh man, somebody's saying that this is going to be good.
Right, someone on our side.
Exactly.
Someone looking for optimism.
That has.
Can I tie this to the first segment? Can I Google that? Can I get that on Google?
I don't know. I don't know if you can or not. But
is it
this
positive?
This is an economist.
No.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
This is an economist that understands the full breadth of this that I for sure don't, and is saying to us all, knowing full well, and there were people on the call that said, "Hold on, I'm drowning here, and you're telling me everything's great," and he commented, he said, "Well, I apologize for, I don't mean to sound like it's good now. Of course, it's not good now, but if you can hang on." Take advantage of the programs that are being offered.
Right.
Do the right thing for your business. If you can make it through, then you're going to come out the other side doing very well.
And one of the biggest facts that I found very interesting, right? I like big picture. And
Can I just finish that one thought?
Yes.
If you were doing well before, you're going to do well again.
Right.
So he did preface it with that.
He did. And basically he was saying, hey, the GDP lost, $2 trillion.
Right.
Right. We've lost that in paychecks and everything else. But the government support's been the same. Been that $2 trillion, and in fact, the Congress is trying to give Trump make him take a whole bunch of money, but basically they have money from the last stimulus that they haven't spent yet, and they're trying to give him more to spend, and I know they were trying to get special money for unemployment, but basically this guy's like, don't give any more money away.
Right.
You've already matched what we've lost.
And I think what's really hard is for people, especially in Nevada, because there's still a high unemployment in Nevada, and the jobs are still being suppressed because we're not opening up.
Right.
So I think it's really hard because those people are saying, wait, you gave me $600, now you're taking it away from me. The problem is that you can't keep doing that, or when your job opens up, you won't take it. And that's what employers were finding. So they're trying to balance it. I think they were talking about $200. The Republicans were proposing $200
Well,
instead.
state unemployment varies by state. So, right. So like folks in like, say, Mississippi, $600 is like a month for them. Right. I mean, so it was discombobulated state to state.
Discombobulated.
You have to use that in a sentence every day.
In fairness to the rock throwing at Google, I did. I did.
You did Google something?
I did, and it brought him up. Says Christopher Thornburg is the founding partner of Beacon Economics, an independent research and consulting firm. He is also the director of the UC Riverside School of Business Center of Economic Forecasting and Development. So
there you go.
Well, they gave him his time. I don't know past that. I haven't got, but I thought, in fairness to Google, no, he's there. So
are we going to paint him with a bias brush?
I will.
What color? I don't know. But that's one of the things I like about economists is they're pretty pure, right? They're about the economy.
Right.
They're scientists.
Well, their reputation relies on that.
Since we're going to scientists now, they're scientists of the economy.
Right.
And to me, the coronavirus is a lot of mental health, and we need to get right, and that's working, getting our kids back, and
I think if more of this kind of information could be put out there, yes, of course, today is not great. Today is not, you're not, bustling and making $1 million or making whatever it is you were making. You're not doing that today. What you have to realize is that, first of all, quit with the fear, because fear isn't going to get us anywhere. And then secondly, begin to think about what you can do in the interim to produce whatever you can produce. If it only means that you're home and not spending, that might be the way you produce, because you're not spending, right? Because then when it goes in, that's what he was talking about.
He was talking about these other challenges like the Great Recession, right? There's all these failures before the unemployment, then the build back. We had no underpinning failure.
Right.
We just had the unemployment. So once employment goes back, we're game.
Right. So it won't, and that's why he's suggesting.
That's why he was so positive.
That we're at a V as opposed to
a U.
To the U, because he's suggesting that it is going to spike back up, because the same things that dragged us down in the first recession and the Great Recession are not factors today.
Right. Money's cheap.
All you have to do is drive around in our community here in Reno and see all the building that's going on, and see all of the businesses that have help wanted signs out.
Right.
I mean, maybe we shouldn't use us as a barometer, because it seems like we're doing quite well.
He was specifically talking about Nevada though, and giving the, because of who his audience was, he was providing that information to us. And
he mentioned something of significance that, labor force. We've always talked about ours being uneducated, all this stuff, but with immigrants and folks moving here and our great universities, he's like, we're going to have a 35% labor force growth, right? And that's these cities growing.
He's talking about the technology places that have built here in northern Nevada as well. So that's all good. So we can talk a little bit more about this, and then we got some other things to talk about. And when we come back on the other side, please stay with us. You are listening to What's the Story, and we will be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
GreatBasinHighway.com, Great Basin Highway magazine, radio show. Visit GreatBasinHighway.com and sign up for a free online subscription to our magazine.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. Let the fire feel the hope swelling up from the depths of my soul.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
And welcome back. This
Hooty
is
hoo.
this is What's the Story. I'm Janice Hermson, and I am your host, and I've got my co-host Doug Ashby and Ed Knoll here with me, and we've been talking about specifically in Nevada because of the fact that I was privy to a presentation from Dr. Christopher Thornburg, who is the founding partner of Beacon Economics, and a smart guy. And
so that V versus U stuff really was about right, the bubble 2001 to 2007, right? Bad loans were being made, right? There was stuff going on there, right? 5 or 6 years that led up to the unemployment, to the whole thing.
You know, I will never forget that because I got into the business, I believe it was, I want to say like 2000. And just from I was a financial advisor and decided to go into, because of lots of reasons, but by need, went into the mortgage business.
This was after your fingernail?
That was way back.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you know everyone with a clue was a mortgage advisor at one time?
It was way back. Hey, I worked hard for that. Trust me on this. So I did some. I was a financial advisor for a period of time. Had the opportunity to get into the mortgage business. They wanted a manager for that particular place, and so I said, okay, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. Never done that, but I did real estate in the 80s, so I thought I can do this, and I could.
Did you like it?
I did. I loved it because it was kind of like almost like being a financial advisor in a sense, because you're helping them make the biggest purchase of their lives. One of the things that I kept, as I was going through this, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. Why are we doing this like this? So even though I was doing some of these loans, and I would say to people, you know what? You're doing this 228 because you're trying to fix your credit. If they ever take these loans away, you're done. you're done.
Right.
Right? So you need to know that risk. Well, not every mortgage broker, banker, whatever, advised people that way. Not everybody did. They weren't all honest. They weren't all caring. They just were making money, and they were making money. There were loans I wouldn't do.
Right.
You know, I'm sure you faced the same thing.
Totally not working in the system, right? Making a mess out of everything. Then the market falls. Then unemployment happens. Then you got to fix stuff. Then you got the recovery. Where right now, best I know, in April, everything was cool. It just disappeared, right? There were no broken anything. Unemployment's leading, right? Businesses out, restaurants mostly, and bars, right? But as those people, if they're able to come back, if those owners can hang on, there's nothing to fix, right? It's just employment coming back, then we should be good, which is the sign of a V versus that U, which has to fix problems, right? It's a big, complicated issue. This is just, we just quit working, right? Let's just get back out there and work again.
What is the governor waiting for? I mean, is there a certain point where he says, oh, we can open up the bars and
well, last time I talked to him, right?
That was yesterday, right?
We have like a bat phone. He calls me for advice, and then whatever I tell him, he chooses opposite.
That's right. He's your
so
brother.
right.
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah.
So that's where we go. I'm just saying. I wish he'd call me and ask, but he tends not to favor my.
Well, he's listening. You do know that.
Of course he is.
That was
he
it.
always listens to us, especially
right.
in our new time, because now he can.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but he needs like a revamp of his education, I think. Right? I mean, he's not a personal responsibility guy.
Ooh, now he's not going to call.
So, right. So
that line just got cut off.
Do you think he walks around like not knowing that?
You just got us.
He basically knows that.
You just got us taken off of Google too.
So I'll be looking for the check in the mail. But anyway, this guy really discussed how our underpinnings are sound. Right, that what we had was the greatest economy on the planet. We hadn't been there. I mean, you know.
Do you know? Have you read anything about California economy?
So that their bonds are junk.
Yeah.
Right. I know
well,
that.
The reason I ask is because we seem to be in a lot better position than California is, which is really saying something because of the industry that they have.
So all Nevadans, listen. Our legislature meets for 3 months every 2 years, and we cannot deficit spend. We have to spend what we make, and that's why we're better, right? We go into things quick, but we furlough folks. We don't spend money we don't have. Then, like when things coming out, we come out fast because we're within our limits, right? We budget right. Do not change this. Listen, do not change. Do not meet for 91 days or 121 days. Meet how you meet and spend like we spend, and we'll stay resilient. If they change us to be more like them, then we'll be more irrelevant.
See, now there's the second reason they're going to kick us off of Google.
You know what? Facts are facts, right?
That's right. That's right. Yes. Well, I thought that it was a great presentation that he provided, and you know, it's hard because we recently found out that one of our paper stores is closing at the end of the year, which they might have been anyway. I don't know, but it makes it hard to know what direction. You know, it's the one we bought from primarily, which doesn't mean we can't buy somewhere else, but it does change the nature of your business. It changes what you have to do. And I know that other people are facing similar types of things with their suppliers. They go out of business. They're here today, gone tomorrow. And so, you know, I told one of my authors, I said, you know, we're still here. We're going to stay here. I said, I don't know what our business is going to look like, you know, when we come out of it, but I know we'll still be here.
So recessions are a little bit like the coronavirus in business, right? They just weed out, right, folks?
They do.
They weed out characters like in April, right? If you're a small business and not making progress,
right,
you're in trouble.
Right.
Things couldn't have been better anywhere unless you were brand spanking new.
Right.
And
then that's really a challenge.
And that's a different thing. But the fact is, you should have been like being able to see grow, like we were stepping, doing different stuff, right? All looking positive, the economy clicking, and then it just changed, right? So it's just gutting it out.
Your business is doing well?
Yes.
But it could be doing better.
So I think mortgage banking, right? We had our thing 10 years ago, and so online we're secure in documents, right? We don't have to see people, right? I could do a loan for someone in Ohio by talking to them on the phone and seeing documents.
Yeah.
So we can operate at a distance. I think also, right, mortgage money, rates are low, cash flow is king, and we can help people weather the storm.
I haven't really ever thought in these terms, but as you drive through Reno here, we have hundreds and hundreds of new condos going up. And I would imagine that would be absolutely great for your business.
So right, you get into hybrid products. What you talk about? Park Lane mixed use property.
Yeah.
Best I know, Fannie and Freddie didn't do mixed use.
No,
FHA and V. Those are all going to be non-Fannie, Freddie, FHA, V. Well, I'll say that now. They might get some rulings by folks and make laws in their HOAs, but like up by the Hyatt, up at Incline Village, right? There's a cool place. I have a friend who owns a living space, and then below it is a business space. So you can have office, or you can operate your business from below it. Home above, right? Mixed use. Can't get loans.
Why?
Because it's mixed use. It's not pure residential. It's Fannie, Freddie.
It's all about program guidelines.
Government loans don't do those. We don't touch those. So these Park Lane are likely going to be in the same boat if they're similar. But they could just be maybe condos with like HOAs. So they could be, PUDs.
If it pencils out, what difference does it make if
pencils out for who?
Well, for a lender. If it's mixed use.
So, but government mandates aren't about helping people with businesses. They're about helping people with residential, right? I mean, those are mixed. Those are, right? It's going to be private
different
money.
Animal.
Different animal.
That's amazing. You don't do business loans then?
Commercial business,
you
right?
Do. It has to be pure, though.
So ask any commercial bank, right? Yeah, right. They're looking at investing in your business generating a certain income. They may lean a building, but it's about the success of your business, not your personal worth. And right. I mean, a business loan's about the success of what you're doing, not who you are.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a whole nother.
So they're looking at people, business, not like credit score, income, money in the bank.
This
like
is so
learning
frustrating.
So there you go. You know what?
Thing.
You could go off and be a bank.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't John Wayne do that? What was that? What was that movie? He went off and had a bank. Anyway, same story.
Well, the old adage is finally when you get to a position where you don't, where your finances where you don't need a loan, that's when they'll lend to you.
Of course.
Always.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Well, always, right?
Yeah.
That's a good, safe bet.
All right. Well,
so thank you guys. I thought that guy, it was just dynamic and really positive for the state. Why in the world none of our local outlets are talking about that kind of stuff?
I hope they will.
Man, why don't we get back to glass half full?
Yeah.
We're a glass half full, folks.
Yep. We need to stay half full, not half empty. It's going to get better.
Let's go.
So, all right. We have one more segment, so you need to stay with us. I'm going to talk about these Russian chefs.
Uh-oh.
And you're going to love the story. It's very cute. And then we'll talk about other things. We'll be right back.
Destination Midtown. Experience the difference. Reno's premier shopping extravaganza. Everything imaginable and more. Midtown matters. Get down to Midtown.
Ponderosa Meats, the anchor of Midtown since 1954. USDA choice, USDA prime cut. Ponderosa grass-fed beef. Call 775-322-4063. Ponderosa Meats, tradition, quality, and prime service.
Midtown Reno. Experience the difference. Get down to Midtown. Midtown matters.
Ready for a live game of Clue? For nearly 30 years, Funtime Theaters held private and monthly dinner murder mysteries. Each night is different, and each event includes dinner and a show. You're the detective, and your job is to figure out who did what to who and why. At the end of the night, a super sleuth and not so super sleuth are awarded prizes. This is a great event for a birthday or holiday party and team-building events for your office. Visit funtimetheater.com to make your reservations and use promo code RADIO for $5 off each admission.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Now she's gone like a...
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Hey, welcome back.
Glass half full.
Glass half full. We're half full here. What's the stories in the positive mode?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I want to hear about these positive Russians.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually
Are they positive?
The story is funny. It's 2 months old, so I am telling you kind of an old story, but I just couldn't resist. It's from June 9th, and it was on Reuters, and it popped up on when I was searching for some things. And like I said, I was doing some genealogy this weekend. My grandparents originally were from Russia. They were German, but they were Russian. And so I was researching some things, and certain things popped up, and then this story popped up, and I said, oh, I got to share this. So here you go. It's a silly little story, and it won't take her long, but these are Russian chefs in a naked lockdown protest after the virus strips them of their income. I just love the headline, right?
I like it.
Oh, I hope this is a misleading one.
No. Look at the picture.
No, I'm looking at him.
And it's in Russian.
And it says, vodka cures coronavirus.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right?
This is from Moscow. Russian restaurant owners stripped of their income by the coronavirus lockdown are campaigning for their businesses to be allowed to reopen by posting pictures of themselves naked on social media.
So, you know what? They got so many tattoos, it doesn't matter, right? They're not even naked when they're naked.
They're not even naked when they're naked.
That's right.
The one guy's got clothes on. Come on. He's got clothes on.
That's kind of a skirt. Look at that. That looks like
and a little bra.
Yeah, that's like about a six. That guy shouldn't be wearing that.
No, he should not.
I can't think anything worse than to have a waiter serve my food.
Google it.
So, yes, hundreds. I'm going to post it. Okay. Hundreds of bar, restaurant, and cafe employees have posted photographs of themselves naked with carefully I just wouldn't have expected it from Russians, right?
I mean,
it's just not
highly entertaining.
With carefully positioned plates, cups, saucepans, bottles, bar stools, and napkin holders. Their demand is for authorities to allow them to start serving clients as the country gradually eases measures to stop the spread of the coronavirus. They're going through the same thing we are. I mean, talk about unification, right? We're all in the same boat here.
And it seems to me that if everyone was naked, you would have a certain social distancing going on, wouldn't you?
You know,
right? Maybe
in
that's
some
it.
cases.
You know what? Clothiers are no longer essential businesses. No more.
The Russians have nothing on Californians because 30 years ago, you could go into a bar and get a beer served by a naked woman.
Oh, come on. So we are naked because we are left with nothing, said Arthur Goliathchuk, owner of the owner of the Relab family bar chain in the city of Kazan, whose 20 employees took part in the campaign. Restaurants in Kazan, pardon me if I'm ruining the name, will be allowed to open their summer terraces on June 11th after more than 2 months of lockdown. We don't want to stage a strip show or to fool around. We only want one thing, to work, said Pavel, a chef from the Siberian city of, oh my goodness, Novosibirsk.
So didn't you say it was, the fun part is it's a family restaurant chain, right? That's the family restaurant chain going strip. You know what? So what?
So here he is in a post with a group picture of his colleagues wearing only masks and holding kitchenware.
It'd be like the streakers wearing a mask and tennis shoes.
Exactly. So apparently President Putin.
Can you imagine them frying bacon?
So so you know this is our future, folks, because they've been oppressed so long that they've lost it.
Yeah.
Before us, we're gonna lose it.
That's right.
Right? We're gonna lose it.
Well, they aren't homeless at least.
Well,
on June 23rd, they reopened. They all reopened. You know, all the restaurants and bars were reopening. Indoor restaurants and bars remain closed in other parts of Russia. So, what can I tell you?
So you're going to be patio sitting in like Siberia? I mean, right? It's social distancing, right? Oh, we only got one patio. It's over there on the ice.
I love it. I just love the picture. So I will share that with you. I just knew we needed a little bit of a laugh. And even though it was an old story, I wanted to share it.
That guy really shouldn't wear that bathing suit.
All right. So I'm posting this. If you're listening on Facebook, you can check it out and see exactly what this dude looks like.
You know, we had today, I think we had a lot of highs.
Maybe
we had a lot of highs.
Yep. Maybe they'll ban us for me posting that. I mean, that was pretty nasty.
So I just love like the Eastern European, like the language, right? It looks like someone just like put cap locks on and goes, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I like about it.
It's true. I know. I think that's what I like about the picture the most.
Yeah.
Is the words across that. I have no clue what they say.
It might just be one word. It's like 35 letters, one word.
Exactly. Yeah, I have no idea what it says. So if it says something bad, I apologize in advance.
And
that's right. Yeah, you don't know what it says. Yeah. Oh, be in trouble.
Reuters posted it, so I presume they have a little bit of decorum, perhaps.
Yeah.
One can only hope, right?
Hope.
Well, that was fun.
That was.
I enjoyed that.
That was. And those guys should definitely be on Hell's Kitchen.
They should
Could you do that Hell's Kitchen nude 24-hour turnaround? Oh, my God. That'd be a ratings bonanza.
See, I should have saved that story for Basil. Basil would have loved that story.
Well, it seems to me like it might have legs, right? That story's got legs.
It does. We have a lot of stories that have legs on here.
Well, you know, there's just, right? It's like there's no conclusion to stuff, right?
I know.
It's kind of like we were talking about, earlier. We were talking about heaven and afterlife.
Tanisha says, why did I click that link? I cannot unsee that.
See? Told ya.
Yeah.
Ban it. I think you better ban it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't resist.
I told ya.
They'll say,
Steve says naked legs.
So that is the shortest skirt I've seen on anyone, and that dude's got thighs bigger around than me.
Yeah, but it's a guy.
There's like 7 of them.
And like Tanisha says, you can't unsee
Well,
it.
and he has a matching top on.
Oh, jeez.
He does.
So on a serious note, April says that, yes, for sure, to Ed's point about being your own bank, here's a guy we enjoy listening to, and then I don't know, I don't have it. So say, April, you'll have to resend that because I don't have the, whatever it is you're saying that we should listen to.
I was going to say, I don't know if they're Dave Ramsey people, but there's lots of competent financial folks.
Yeah, there's lots of them, yeah.
Way smarter than me. Ban me.
Oh, well, that was fun, you guys. And I do want to mention that next week on Pinch of Basil, which will be on right before us, we are going to have Ken Kamen, who wrote Don't Let Technology Crack Your Nest Egg. So rethinking personal finance for the digital age. I thought it was appropriate since we were just talking about that. And that will be at 3:30 next week. And we're on from 3 to 4 on A Pinch of Basil. And then again on Tuesdays, we're here from 4 to 6 now. So I'm going to be a 3-hour gal on that day.
Wowza. I'm so excited.
I know. I am too.
Except I'm going to be a day behind. I'm going to think it's Monday on the way home.
Yeah.
It really upset the balance first thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were kind of out of sync. And
I think that it's taken me a while because I had all these meetings every day, and I used to have a significant rhythm.
Yeah.
And I was a rhythm guy, and it went away.
I disrupted that rhythm.
Well, no, the coronavirus did, but now I'm trying to start it over, right? And so everyone thinks finding new time slots and different things, but it's challenging to get that rhythm back. I understand, folks.
Yeah, and I want to remind everybody you can listen on americamatters.us if you're in the Reno area, KCKQ 1180 AM. We are just all over the place, of course, on Facebook, the What's the Story page, and also I believe, are you posting that on America Matters also? Yep, so you can be at America Matters if you don't want to listen to it on What's the Story, but of course you want to listen to it on What's the Story.
Oh,
of course you do.
What's the Story?
So, yeah, and we always have some good stories here. I'll look for some more good ones like my little Russian fellas there.
I don't really think you can top that.
Oh, I might. You never know. I'm a pretty good searcher, like I said. So, and I don't know that we have any guests next week. We'll search that out and we'll post it when we decide if we're going to have somebody on. And if not, we'll all be here. And hopefully April will be back.
I know a good guest.
Who is that?
April.
No.
Bring her back here.
We've had her before.
Yeah.
She's old news. Come on. But we can have her as a co-host. That would work.
That would
work really well. So, April, we miss you, as you can tell. So you got to come back. And
it's no fun picking on her if she can't pick back, huh?
I know. She texts me, but that's not good enough because everybody else can't see. So there you go. All right. So I don't know. I guess we're done here today.
I was going to say, be safe, wear your Superman masks, and maybe next week we'll be like kicking this to the curb.
It's a patriot to wear a mask, the president says. So I don't know when that happened, but, okay. I thought it was patriotic just to be patriotic, but there you go.
So we ought to do an analysis of the president one
Oh,
day.
dear.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, that would be interesting.
So you'd have to simplify it so it'd be interesting.
I think that we might get banned. You never know.
Yeah. Hey, let's keep trying.
That's like wanting to be that author.
So, but he'll say he's going to ban us.
Yeah. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening and being here with us today. And we hope you'll tune in again next Tuesday from 4 to 6 Pacific. And again, thanks a lot.
Have a great day.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every